Welcome to a Saturday morning, and that means it is time for a dose of reality. I know it might be too early for reality for most of you, but that's Cynthia Hash is up early, ready to go into a weekend, and she brings us the reality of real estate. Good morning, Cynthia. How are you doing?
Joe, doing great. Love the weather. It's kind of sweaty weather though, you know.
My
Um,
wife loves this stuff. She can't get it warm enough.
it's good for old bones, right? I'm not saying your
Yeah.
wife is old, but I'm just saying.
The weather has turned summery.
hmm
Now that we're finally here into the first weekend of summer, how did the first open house go? You had that realtor's open house?
Yeah, the triple broker open was pretty amazing. We actually we served Mission barbecue, which was absolutely delicious. We did the sausage instead of the barbecue. We did the
Oh, wow.
Yeah, and which is, in let's see, the jalapeno cheese that's inside of it
Oh my gosh.
is very good. Yeah, and then the beef brisket, and as a change up, and their coleslaw and their potato salad and the best banana pudding ever.
Oh gosh, yeah, they pull out all the stops for sure.
Yeah, it was awesome. And I had a six-seater golf cart, and it took them around to the different houses. We had probably about 17 agents there, which was really awesome. And again, this is one at 487 Kenwood Lane in Ruckersville,
Hmm.
and he had two other properties in there that were on Palmer Place that we had in under construction that we took them to.
Terrific.
So yeah, it was a really good turnout, and it's just things that it cost me a couple of grand at least just to put it on. And so people don't realize, as a kind of segueing into what we're doing on this topic today, is people don't realize how much agents put into something before
Yeah.
they even get any commission, before they even get paid, before any of that. And there's so many hours that are put in, and so much money that we have to spend of our own money, before we can actually make a commission check.
Hmm.
Yeah. So, and what's interesting is there's these lawyers. Go figure.
No, no, not lawyers.
No, not lawyers. Oh, but they're really good at if they, I don't know, stay in their lane, just like we're really good at staying, we, as long as we stay in our lane, so to speak. But go figure, some of the lawyers who probably enjoyed or instigated or whatever the class action lawsuits against NAR, they're involved in this new concept of basically trying to kick agents to the curb.
That's
Um,
bad.
yeah, yeah, and so we really have to be, as agents, more diligent than ever in regards to our value proposition. So,
Hmm.
but this episode is lawyers trying to put agents out of business.
Well, my wife did for a very little time. She started to do the prep classes for
Mhm.
real estate, and she said, "My gosh, this is like taking a law degree. I mean, you guys are like lawyers because you have to know all of the law as it regards to housing and contracts and all of that stuff. But I mean, I don't want some general purpose person. I want somebody who specifically knows real estate."
Yeah, and see, that's the thing is, I think we're not allowed to give legal advice because we're not lawyers. We didn't go to law school.
Hmm.
But there are lawyers that became lawyers and became real estate attorneys who used to be licensed agents.
Ah.
And there's one in particular that is that way. And the good news is honestly, I think those are the ones that I believe uh, kind of understand how agents work. But
Because they
why did
used to
they
be
get
one.
into? Yeah, because they used to be an agent. Um, but honestly, when they are get like this particular one, and this is RAS Media was reporting on this, and they were saying that like agent free, okay, and all this kind of thing, and after 30 years of doing real estate, okay,
Right.
this particular real estate now an attorney, they do closings and so forth, and guess what, attorneys can own title insurance companies,
Oh my
and so
gosh, it's everything.
yeah, and so it can really be lucrative for them, but at the same time, this like this particular person, it was they're basically uh, they know that agents have value, okay?
Hmm.
And attorneys the real estate attorneys that I deal with know that agents have value. But they're also the ones who are at the settlement table cutting the checks, saying, "Good grief, this is a big check to an agent," and they're as long as the agent's doing their job fully, and as long as the agents are truly being a fiduciary
Hmm.
to their clients, usually the lawyers and the consumers, don't have problems with it.
Right.
But unfortunately, what happens is that not everybody does a good job at what their job is.
Yeah, sorry about that. I wish that wasn't the way it was, but this is why diligence, as you've talked
Mhm.
about it in the past episodes, is
Mhm.
so important in finding a realtor that has that expertise, right?
Well, exactly. And when these attorneys are trying to build their real estate uh, specialty business,
Hmm.
okay, uh, you know, they have to understand, and some of them do, that the value that agents bring is there. You're never going to replace a good agent. Okay.
Hmm.
And some people do opt out of maybe not wanting to use agents and go straight to real estate attorneys. But by golly,
Oh,
don't call your real estate agent and pick their brains until, and not ever pay them, and then kick them to the curb and hire a real estate
yeah.
attorney, because then you learned, some of what, only a fraction of what that real estate agent actually does know.
Well, and
And
it's just generally unethical to do something like that. I mean, unless you're having a real problem with the agent, and then that's a whole different matter. That's not the scenario you were talking about.
no, see, that's the thing, is that unfortunately, when you have an agent that and you're going to go to them and you're going to ask them all these questions, and you're going to get market advice, and you're going to get comparison advice, and you're going to get uh, well, what should I do to prepare my house for the market, or buyer, what should I
Hmm.
expect in real estate agent? What should I expect
Yeah.
from as a buyer? What should I expect as a seller? And you continuously pick their brains. Well, they are earning their commission at that point, because with a real estate, with any attorney, they charge you by the hour.
Oh, yeah. And big time by the hour.
And yes, and it's high, because what they know is what they know.
Hmm.
And so, and quite frankly, uh, I actually have a model where we can, if the uh, consumer is not sure about what they want to do, we have a non-refundable, consulting fee.
Oh, okay. Well, that's very, yeah. And that is a starting point, a conversation.
Yeah, and we also can do things like retainer fees,
Hmm.
where you pay up front, and then if we do end up getting the commission instead of you going to just a real estate attorney, then uh, you don't get that retainer fee up front, that returned. But if we do end up going and earning that commission, then the retainer fee is the commission's reduced by the whatever you paid for the retainer fee.
Right. That makes sense.
Hmm. And so what we're trying to do is make it a little bit more flexible, for the buyer and the seller as to how they want to use us. But what happens is the attorneys and the consumers, they're spoiled, right? So they get a whole lot of free advice from realtors.
Yeah.
And so if they want to play that game, so to speak, then, those retainer fees are going to be, expensive, maybe not as expensive as an attorney per hour, but it has to be something because we can't work for free. I mean, do you like working for free? Does anyone like working for free? Do the attorneys work for free? Heck no. Do plumbers or electricians or you know, car salespeople, do they all work for free? No, they don't.
Hmm.
Hmm.
Nobody does. And I guess that's the you were talking about this earlier, that kind of feeling, well, I just paid all this for the house and there's a commission attached to that, but there's all this stuff that goes on long before that moment when that check goes into escrow.
Exactly. So what happens is there's what consumers don't know is what they don't know. And it's just as simple as that. And the good news is that the ones who've been there, I mean, I've been told by many people, oh, good grief, Cynthia, just take the bar exam.
Well,
You
you
know,
feel like it after a while because there's so much law that you have to know.
yeah, and we need to know that we need to stay in our lane.
Hmm.
And so we always recommend real estate attorneys. I know our company does. And but here's the thing. If you're not recommending a real estate attorney, what about settlement agents? And
Yeah.
so settlement or closing companies, okay, they can't give uh, legal advice either. And if they can't give legal advice, then, you know, basically you're not going to pay them, or get them to do work and not pay them, right?
No, you wouldn't.
No, but you still might need a real estate attorney to help you with all of the legalities of the settlement itself. Okay, there is no law. Again, the only thing that a settlement company can't do is draft the actual deed. They have to have a real estate attorney draft the actual deed in a closing.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah, and so, but everything else that they do is meaningful. That, don't you want somebody that has a fantastic accounting system that can dot all the I's and cross all the T's and
Hmm.
add everything up and subtract everything up and make sure the disbursements are done correctly?
Oh
Of
yeah.
course. Yeah. Now, real estate attorneys can also do that.
Hmm.
But some people choose settlement companies for whatever reason. Usually the price is not that different. Usually attorneys will charge, basically flat hourly fees or just a flat fee. By the time you add up settlement companies' fees, that because they're small fees, boom, 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 boom,
Hmm. Little by little.
little by little, they're competitive. Just let's just say, but you don't get legal advice with a settlement company. You
Hmm.
can only go to a real estate company and get, I mean, a real estate attorney and get legal advice. And so, same thing, realtors need to stay out of the attorney lane unless they're licensed as agents.
Hmm. That's fair.
If they're
It's a good
licensed,
advice. Yeah.
there you go. If they're licensed as agents and they can apply all of that to being, the a real estate attorney as well, great. But you don't see them do house calls.
Well, and it can be much more expensive that way if your attorney is your realtor
Hmm.
because I can see where, if you just need the attorney to look over the closing documents and write up the deed,
Hmm.
that's got a finite amount of hours attached to it. Whereas who knows what could be going on, and oh, well, we had to do this, and all of a sudden there's 10, 20, 30 more billable hours coming out of, their commission.
Yeah, and there's this one attorney who calls themselves agent free. They actually have a platform that they charge about 1% of the home purchase price. But exactly what does that entail? Does that entail them giving market advice?
Hmm.
Does that entail them giving comparable advice? Does that entail them doing a comparative market analysis? Does that entail, probably not all of the above. Does that entail them coming out to the house, taking a look to
Right.
see if, if you're a seller and taking a look at all that? Does that entail them taking these buyers out to see houses, a dozen houses before they make a decision?
And are
Or
those billable lawyer hours, or are they part of the real estate service?
see, that's it.
Yeah.
Exactly.
And
And
it seems overkill to have a lawyer, where you don't need specifically to have a lawyer. I
yeah,
mean, a realtor has that legal knowledge, but also has the knowledge of, I know what you need and I can help you match up to it, whereas a lawyer is not necessarily trained up in that, correct?
well, yeah. And so what happens is what you find, agents will agents are told, trained, and ready to be the source of the source.
Mm-hmm.
And what I mean by that is agents we know everybody. And so we know, if during a home inspect, we know all the good inspectors, okay?
Right.
And we know all the good electricians or structural engineers, or anybody, soil engineers, septic inspectors. I mean, when was the last time you saw a lawyer go out to a house and stand there and make sure that the septic inspector is doing their job?
Oh, I can't think of a time.
Exactly. Or when did a lawyer come out and say, hey, get that, um, uh, you need to take a look at this septic line that may have collapsed for whatever reason. Maybe they drove a big truck over top of it or something.
Sure.
These are things that agents are used to taking care of. They're knowledgeable, and they're the go-between, so to speak, in regards to keeping emotions in check and help. But it's not. There's nothing worse though than an agent who becomes emotional themselves.
Mm-hmm.
You can't do that. And if you do that, then in my opinion, that's not the agent that you want.
No.
Because I'm more than happy to say, listen, I'll go to bat for you, but I'm going to handle it professionally. I'm going to make sure that that everyone knows where everyone stands, and this is why you should think about choosing anyone from Find Homes Realty. Go to findhomesusa.com. You can go to findhomesrealty.com/podcast to listen on SoundCloud to all of our recordings. You'll notice also all of our blogs on our website and so forth. And if you don't have an agent that is that or a broker that's training their agents to be at the best
Mm-hmm.
possible agents out there. Just because one company has this huge number of agents doesn't
Yeah.
mean that they're the best company to deal with.
Mm-hmm.
You
I've
know,
seen it.
hmm yeah, because I mean, think of this: they have typically one principal broker or one supervising broker, and they're handling hundreds of agents. They can't
Wow.
they can't do it correctly.
Yeah. Or
you know,
thoroughly.
or very thoroughly, I mean, they're going to miss things. They're not going to be able to give proper advice on every single one. They might not be available to help in a crisis. And believe me, there's always a real estate crisis.
Well, and it's a big purchase, and
Mhm.
and if you have a lawyer that's doing it, what happens if one of their legal clients needs them? Where do
Well,
you fall in
well,
that list?
exactly. If they got to go to court, then your client, the real estate client, is SOL.
Maybe in the hands of somebody who's just learning, and now you're in a parallel.
Yeah, exactly. Well, the one thing I do respect is the fact that some of these agent-free attorneys do respect agents.
Good.
And there may be times when, I let's say there's maybe a tenant or something like that decides that they want to buy, the house and that they're living in. It's a good example that, if they're going to be doing that, I mean, I'm going to charge a whole lot less
Hmm.
than, my normal fee in a commission. I'm going to charge less uh, because I'm not having to come up with all the marketing to
Yeah.
for or if I'm representing the tenant who's now going to be the buyer, and I haven't shown them houses and given them all this other advice. And all we do is basically get under contract and, because we write the contracts, because it's a standard form for the state of Virginia that we are, writing the contracts on. And I will tell you that if you do stay in your lane I always recommend a real estate attorney. I
Yeah.
always recommend them. And I think that if you are working as a closing attorney, I highly respect a closing attorney. Highly respect them.
Hmm.
And the thing is, when they're doing their job and I'm doing my job, it's a really good
Right.
working ethic.
Goes, step by step the way it needs to,
Mhm.
without kind of muddying the waters, who's doing what
Mhm.
and where and how much attention is being paid for it. I had not thought of that because, but I do remember that distinctly going, and I was reading it with her, and I'm thinking, my gosh, you have to know all this very specific law when it comes to, the house, the condition,
Mhm.
what you can say, what you can't say, what you can
Mhm.
show. I mean, there's so much to know to be a realtor,
Yeah.
that if I'm doing personal injury, that I've got a whole other thing I have to know, and it's a whole different situation.
Oh, it is. And there's specialty attorneys, just like there's specialty agents. I
Okay.
specialize in residential. There are other agents that specialize in commercial.
Okay.
That kind of thing. It's not that I can't do commercial. It's not that I haven't done commercial. It's just that I specialize in residential.
Hmm.
Same thing with property managers. There are agents who are property managers that handle nothing but rentals. And have I done that before? Absolutely. I'm licensed to do it. I can do anything in real estate in the state of Virginia. But do I want to? What's my specialty? You have the same kind of thing when it comes to attorneys.
Mm.
The problem that I see is that people think they're saving on commission, but they're actually losing out on market knowledge. And what they don't
Okay.
know will hurt them.
Well, certainly the market knowledge in terms of where are the opportunities, who's selling, what's coming up, what is a good area, what is a declining area, all these things, schools, all of that stuff. And I'm just a layperson in this. You know better than me.
Well, there are some attorneys, honestly, that they don't realize that market statistics is not everything that the internet tells you. Okay.
What? What? The
Oh,
internet doesn't tell you everything you need to know. Oh my
that's true
goodness.
that.
You
I mean, when was the last
you've
time?
crushed my world.
I know. When was the last time the someone from the internet, one of those big dogs on the internet, when was last time they visited your house?
Oh, I mean, except through my
Uh,
computer, and then it's only a chat box.
yeah,
Yeah.
it's exactly. And they can't see the things that we can see as agents when we
You know,
go there. And yeah, I mean, it's just, it's, so here's the thing. When you're saving on commission, you're losing out on market knowledge. What are you really saving? Because you're actually shooting yourself in the foot, because you're basically, um, uh, you're tripping over dollars to pick up pennies.
that's a good way to put it, especially if
Yeah.
you're the seller. I've got to see, if you're not dealing with somebody savvy at getting you out there in front of as many potential buyers as possible. I mean, that's
Mhm.
that's a critical mistake.
Oh, absolutely. And when they call, you call some agent online. Okay. The agent
Hmm.
doesn't know about the house. If you're a listing agent, they don't know it as much, but I have full respect for buyer's agents. Why? Because everything that I know is at the fingertips of the buyer's agents. So I'm gonna equip the buyer agent with all the facts about the property, not just the facts, but the things that you can't see. So like material defects, if those are there, I'm going to disclose it because that's what I'm supposed to do. And but if you think about this though, you figure there are some people that are kind of maybe some attorneys, even some consumers that are kind of bitter about professional real estate agents and what their commission earnings look like.
It's
Okay.
a shame.
Yeah. And they're the ones who have maybe been unhappy with some experience in the past with an agent that didn't work out well. Or maybe they simply don't know how expensive it is to be an agent and how many hours a week that we work, or hours on any particular transaction that we work without getting paid. So
Right.
we
They only see you when they see you. They don't know
e-
all the other stuff that's going on.
exactly, and you can quadruple the amount of hours behind the scenes that we work. That you don't even know
Hmm.
about. So when it's concluded, yeah, we send you a 5 minute, email to let you know that it's concluded, but you didn't know that we spent 10, 12 hours, in the past week working on that same thing. Uh, you know, so but here's the thing. When you jumble together all agents into one category based on their perceived characteristics, this preconception and generalization can lead to stereotyping, prejudice, and even discrimination.
Oh.
And yeah, and that's when we focus on group membership rather than individual characteristics, we may overlook unique qualities of the agent.
Hmm.
Okay. And but hey, let's just say realtors are people too.
We
Okay.
hope. I mean, for
Yeah,
now,
right. I mean,
we
yeah.
AI hasn't taken over that yet.
Not yet, but just like in every industry, there are agents that are more qualified and better at their jobs than others. Simple.
Hmm.
But that's why it's a good idea to do the due diligence thing, like you mentioned earlier, and actually, look at the credentials of the agents that you're interviewing, right?
And it
So
should be easy to find them.
yeah, it should be. And you can always go to findhomesrealty.com/podcast. You have to put http:// then findhomesrealty.com/podcast. And you can listen to all of the things that my 25 years of 26 years now of experience I put that in these 30-minute uh, radio shows that I just want the consumer to be more educated on, not only what their choices are, but also to understand really what agents are all about and why we are in this career.
Yeah.
I would say 80%, it's that 80-20 rule, 20% of the agents do 80% of the work. Yeah.
But so you've got to know how to find them, and that's why a code of ethics, an approachable nature. I mean, this is all what you're getting in the reality of real estate. You have a wonderful remainder of the weekend, Cynthia, and stay warm, and don't forget the sunscreen.
Oh, yes, indeed. You take care. See ya.